what was that first war? When it began in 1913?
1914.
Right? Which was preceded by an economic collapse. Right? That was World War I, or the First Great War. And the scripture says, after that First Great War, there's going to be 2 more thereafter.
Well, it's also known as the Great War.
The Great War. The First Great War of the 20th century.
And
Is that on that?
Yeah, where's the bit though where it says
Yeah, that's going to be in the...
another chapter.
Yeah, the 13th, I believe, or something like that. Yeah, no, the 11th. And the 14th.
Okay, it's Revelations chapter 11 verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
If you... Sorry. I was about to repeat myself. Read that again.
The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Now, we already know about the Second World War. When did that start? 1939 to 1945?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Right? And that was to do with what, Hitler. That was one America got involved in.
Mussolini, yeah.
Okay. So the third war coming quickly, man. We're at the gate, man. What is it? 50 years later, 60 years later, we at that time, man, for that third world war to kick off, man. So that was the point. So World War, even though the elites are pushing for this World War III, really they're only gonna fulfill the scriptures, because the Most High have already been pushing for the World War III from the beginning.
It's not really their plan.
Yeah, it's not really their plan, for real. That's right. Now, so let's go back into this, get into the history, right? It says here, Bretton Woods Conference in July 1944, so that's a year before the end of the war, right? Is that the war that ended on the 11th of the 11th of the 11th? Or was that World War I?
I'm not sure about the date it finished on.
Was it the 11th, the 11th, the 11th with the poppy fields?
11th. 1911, imagine World War I.
No, it wasn't 9/11. It was the 11th minute or the 11th hour.
Oh, right,
the 11th
right.
day. Oh no, the 11th. It was the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. But I can't remember whether it was due to World War I or World War II. Man could look it up.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so
so this is in July 1944, as World War II was still raging. 730 delegates from all 44 Allied nations gathered in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, to set up institutions and procedures to regulate the international monetary system and to establish the rules for commercial and financial relations among the world's major industrial states. The Bretton Woods Agreement established the dollar as the world's reserve currency, which meant that international commodities were priced in dollars. So the price of everything, which is still to this day, GDP is priced in dollars. If you study geography, when you go into financial statistics, I always used to think, why the fuck is it, excuse my French, why the hell is it always in dollars? Why not pounds? Why not, you look in the book and it'll be like GDP for Britain, something billion or whatever dollars. You're like, what? It's Britain. Why isn't it GDP measured in pounds? Because the dollar is the world reserve currency, man. And that began back in 1944, man. By this time, the Federal Reserve had already taken power, man, over the production. And they were supposed to be storing up that gold, right? Anyway, The agreement, which gave the United States a distinct financial advantage, was made under the condition that those dollars would remain redeemable for gold at a consistent rate of $35 per ounce. So basically, the dollar would have an intrinsic value. The dollar is meant to be a measurement, which is according to the scriptures. Meaning, if you had, in 1944, if you had $35, you were supposed to be able to take that to the bank and get 1 ounce of gold, 100% pure gold bullion. What do they call it? Ingot. Yeah, so like brother correcting me. Ingot. An ingot. Alright, brother got it right. An ingot, yeah. So you could take a $35. Now they said they made the agreement that it was supposed to be what? Constant. So that means today, according to their agreement, if you got $35, you should be able to what? Go to the bank or mail off to the Federal Reserve or whatever and say, look, I would like to redeem these $35, or if you got $70 for 2 ounces of gold minus the cost of delivery. Because you don't want to go and pick that shit up yourself. And they would have to be like, yes, of course, sir. Because that's what the dollar's supposed to represent. Which is a righteous money system, because it has to be an intrinsic value to the money. Otherwise, it's a false balance. The dollar was actually a measurement. Now,
yeah, there you go.
Oh, you got.
Well, it was the same thing in before time with the pound. The pound was based on silver, sterling. That's why I say pound sterling. And it says here on the £5 note, the Bank of England, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £5. But that was actually supposed to be £5 in silver. That was supposed to be a measurement of silver. But obviously the pound is fiat currency now too, because the international bankers have played that same game. Now, as the issuer of the world's reserve currency, we're going to get to where I want to get to with this. The United States promised to print dollars in direct proportion to its gold reserves. Meaning, they can only print $35 if they've increased their gold reserves by 35 ounces. Therefore, when everyone comes in to redeem their dollars, everyone can redeem their dollars for their amount. So you got 35, you come in. You got 100,000, you come in. You redeem your dollars, because that's what it's supposed to be. You don't want to come and them tell you, oh well, you can only get half an ounce for your $35. Why? Well, because we ain't got. You don't want to hear that.
You ain't got what?
Because they're basically then stolen half of your wealth. Because when you got them dollars, you bought them dollars, you were basically buying that amount of gold. So on your books, that's your wealth. Not the dollars itself, but what's attached to it, which has the intrinsic value, which is the gold.
Because remember, it's a receipt.
Really? Yeah, that's what it is. It's a receipt.
No, it's a receipt for what you have, which would have been the gold. It's just a receipt to claim on it.
Like the deeds to a house.
Yeah.
You trade the deeds between us two, but the house is still there.
That's the value.
There.
If the house don't exist, then the deed isn't worth anything.
Exactly.
That's another fraud that Esau was doing. Esau's the devil, man. It's like a fraudulent character, isn't it? However, this agreement was based on an honor system, which you should never do with a white man. Okay?
Never keeps.
Because he's the devil. Since the Federal Reserve refused to allow any audits or supervision of its printing presses. Right? Now you gave me that scripture about it was Leviticus, a just balance and a just weight. Because it's according to the scriptures. Or if you can get that for me, bro. This brother will find it.
Okay, so get it through.
Is it in 19?
Oh, it's a different one you want.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a different one. I want one about just balance and a just effort, man. And also get me it's also found in Proverbs the 11th chapter. Cause that's what the Most High wants you to do, with a just balance, man. Which is what gold and silver, commodities, things with intrinsic value, man. Because you can't steal a man's value in gold. You can't do it. If a man has gold in his pocket, that gold is worth the same amount it is today in forever. You can't do nothing to affect that. Oh, you got that?
Leviticus 19 and 36. Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have. I am the Lord your power.
That's right.
Which brought you out of the land of Egypt.
Meaning, let's say I was doing business with this brother, right? Now you got wicked niggas that would do that. This is what they would do. I'm gonna sell this brother some apples and that. I'm gonna receive gold and silver for it. Now obviously we going weigh up. He's gonna tell me I want 10 pound of he wants 10 pounds worth of, even back in Munster, that's how man used to roll with the system. They used to, if you wanted to go get to the market to get something, they'll actually have the old balances and scales, and then you'd put like the weighing on the other side. So you put 2 pounds of metal on this side, and then you balance it, and then that would be your 2 pounds of potatoes or whatever. Then a guy will pay you the select price. Now what a man would do is, man would have a unjust weight. So the weight will say a pound, but really it's 80% of a pound. So he's gonna make you buy for 80% of a pound. So you're gonna pay a pound for what? So say like you were supposed to pay £1 in silver for the £1. You've given him the £1 in silver for the £1 in potatoes, but what you've really received is 20% short of a pound. You don't understand what I'm saying? That's an unjust weight. You've just stolen from that man. You've stolen his wealth because he could have had that 20% to himself. That's stealing. And the Bible is against that. That's the system that the so-called white man has done. An unjust weight. People would also do it in terms of paying. Oh yeah, they'll say, oh yeah, here's a pound in silver, but come to find out that's not pure silver. They've added metals in there to weigh it down, so it's got less silver in it. That's what they did in Rome. They started watering down the denarius, man, or whichever one it was that was silver, man, and adding in weaker less valuable metals, man. Therefore robbing a man, because you was expecting your payment in full 100% silver, not no bullshit iron that you can't do nothing with. Or if you wanted gold, you want your money in, you want your gold. You don't want to get the gold bar and it's only 20% gold, the rest of it's tungsten. They've just stolen your wealth. Now you're stuck with tungsten that ain't worth nearly as much. Right?
I guess I could go.
Yeah, you can. I know you was gonna get. Oh, okay, go on.
Zechariah chapter 9 verse 3. And Tyrus did build herself a stronghold, and heaped up silver as the dust, and fine gold as the mire of the streets. Behold, the Lord will cast her out, and he will smite her power in the sea, and she shall be covered with fire. No, sorry, shall be devoured with fire.
And that's America. They've stolen, this is what we're gonna get to in this article. They've heaped up to themselves gold, really the international bankers, and stolen the gold from the other nations, man. And it ain't just America that's done that, but also Britain have done that. Because of these countries have held gold for other nations and they steal it. Just like Gaddafi's gold. Gaddafi had gold in Britain. Where's that gold now? Chavez has gold in Britain. He ain't gonna get that. He ain't gonna get that gold back. Cause that gold's gone. That gold has been given into private hands. Because they was hoping you would hold on to the paper forever. But when man now want their gold, because they got the certificates for it, they ain't gonna find it. Just like Gerald Salente found out when he tried to cash in. Alright, where we at?
want the other
I
ones.
want that Proverbs 11
Yep.
one as well, please.